let's proceed with our training for tonight. And let me share first my screen. And this is a continuation of our training last week. All right, so this is about promoting, inviting, step 4 of the network building cycle. So we're in the fourth, and next would be fifth, and last is sixth. So it's been a great journey doing this to you guys. So even it's very early here in my place, but I'm always excited to be with you every Friday because I know that what we're doing is empowering ourselves. So not only that you're being empowered, I'm also being empowered by doing this training because it reminds me of my uh, previous engagement in this space when I was still building my own network. So it always excites me to impart and share all those experiences in the past. So let me proceed with this. So promoting, inviting, as we've discussed, is uh, is our way of um, inviting somebody or promoting an event to somebody to have them attend the presentation. All right. So that's the stage that we're in right now. So it is a process we're in prior to attending the presentation. It's a the presentation proper. You should be doing promoting or inviting to your prospects, right? We have discussed how to come up with our active list, right? And this is very special tonight. Why? Because tomorrow would be the day that the 90-day challenge or 90-day blitz will commence. So I am very excited about this particular period of time where you would devote exclusively all your energy, effort, the best that you can to make sure that you will get the result that you desire, especially on this particular event, this period of time. It is a time in your network marketing life that you will engage. Probably this is your first time, but this will not be your first time. It will be a recurring time that you can do. And when I was in network marketing, I'm doing this twice a year. All right, so let us continue this learning. All right, we're going to talk about handling objections, how to handle conversation stoppers. So this is the first hurdle when we are about to connect, to invite our prospects, whether it's warm, whether it's a cold prospect, right? Or whether it is a hot prospect. So this is the first hurdle that we need to overcome. So I just want to remind everybody that the most important aspect of any business in the whole world, and the most important aspect of business is what? What do you think? It's about conversation. Because without conversation, there's no business. So I'm talking about any business, right? But more so in our industry, network marketing business, conversation is very important. So the idea really is to converse to as many people as you can to make sure that your prospect list is an active prospect list. So meaning there will not be a time that you'll run out of prospect in your list. So once you have that, so to make sure that you will always to converse with the prospect, you have to make sure that the list is always filled up. And the crucial part of that is how to handle conversation stoppers when you connect directly to your prospects. So that's what we're going to discuss at this point in time. So as you can see in the illustration, it shows a lady holding her phone and connecting to his prospects. And he has with her, in front of her is a computer, right? And most likely that's also the way that we're going to do conversation or connecting with our prospect, especially for the first time in presenting our tonoit business to them. All right. So there's a cardinal rule in this part. I want to share it with you. Okay. So this is very, very important. Please don't forget this part. This is a cardinal rule that you need to understand and need to really implement. Okay, what is that? Never do a presentation to people unless they ask for it. So I believe in to know it, that's where the iBO University fundamentally differs with other trainers in the industry. Because what we're trying to say is that never do a presentation to people unless they ask for it. So because our objective is to present the marketing message that we have and let them understand and appreciate that message if the products that we offer, the opportunity that we offer is a fair exchange of value for them. All right. Because your job is not to sell your opportunity or products to those that don't need or desire them. So let me repeat this. Our job is not to sell the opportunity, to know it opportunity or products that we have to those that don't need or desire them. It is to find the people who want what we have and give them enough information so they can decide if getting it from us is a fair exchange of value. Okay, so that's how important the approach, the way we see our business. So never do a presentation to people unless they ask for it. So the way our conversation is designed, right, plays a very crucial role in this aspect, especially on the presentation approach, meaning during the inviting stage. And we need to develop or to implement what we call icebreaker questions. All right. Icebreaker questions will be discussed later by our next trainer. He's one of the most important guy in the organization, so I will allow him to discuss this part. But partly I will open this discussion first before he will do this in his time. So the icebreaker questions allows us to sort out prospects from suspects. So icebreaker question really is a probing question, probing type of questions. Because in this stage, the way you design your question when you connect to your prospect allows you to sort out the prospect from suspects. Okay, so I hope that I was able to make it clear what is icebreaker question. Okay, and this is very important. And I would suggest that you need to have this with you. So if you need to write it down to make it for you to be able to deliver it with 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 authenticity, to make it natural. So you need to practice this part. And I will discuss with you the dynamics, the flow of the conversation for you to be able to understand it well. All right. So who's a prospect? Here we elevate it to the next level, right? In this part, we're going to talk that a prospect is a person who's in need of an opportunity now, not later. So that's we will define prospect here as a person who need an opportunity now and not later. Okay? So meaning those people that will decide to be part of the business. So that's the person that we're talking about here, the prospect. Okay, but before we approach our prospect, of course, we need to understand the prospect's state of mind, right? We need to have an understanding what is the state of mind of our prospects. So before we approach, before we make our first attempt to converse. Okay, number one, prior to approaching, always remember prospects might have encountered people who presented them about a product or an opportunity. So always remember, most likely, the people that you're going to approach, these are the people who were presented before, prior to your approach to that person. All right, so you're not the first person. Always remember that you're not the first person who approached uh, your prospect. So probably you're the 50th, probably you're the 100, right? Especially in this space in network marketing business. So what else that you need to understand about the prospect's state of mind? Expect that a prospect may be biased against our type of business, right? So you need to prepare yourself for that. What else? Probably there's the lack or wrong information about network marketing business. So probably the prospect that you're going to approach, the reason why he's biased or negative about this space because he lacks information or what he got is a wrong information about our business. What else? Probably that person has a bad experience with network marketers like us. All right. And but on the other side, this is positive. Probably that the person that you're going to approach is open-minded to a business opportunity, or probably he's looking for a business opportunity that he can or she can engage. So there's a variety of different state of mind of every person that we will approach. But the idea is we need to understand this prior to conversing with that person. Okay? So whatever the prospect's past experiences and biases, it doesn't matter. All right? What matters is that you are prepared. So preparation really plays a very important role in our business. Okay, so the most important part is, are we prepared every time we converse, we connect to our prospect, right? Because your prospect list is it's like a well of of wealth, of gold. So you don't want those lists to be wasted because you're not able to prepare the way you approach your prospects. Remember, as I've said a while ago, the key to success in any business is conversation. Conversation. Okay, so icebreakers, as we've discussed, is allows you to sort prospect from the suspects by asking ice-breaking questions. Okay, so we will share this with you guys, and the training that will follow after this will give more details into this, especially for the 90 days approach. So we need to have a template for that, all right, to make it more powerful, compelling, this 90 days a challenge that we're about to embark. Okay, icebreaker number. So there are two icebreakers question that we'll discuss. Number one is, are you married? All right. So, so it's a tricky question actually. So let me proceed. All right. Are you married to your job or open-minded? All right. So what do you notice about this question? This is not a common question that's being asked, right? So would you like to do business together with your job? So take a look at this, the flow of this conversation. So that's how you initiate your conversation. Are you married to your job, or are you open-minded? Would you like to do a business together with your job? So what is the value of this question? Okay, they could ignore you when you post this question, this icebreaker question, but more likely they'll be surprised because it's not an average thing to hear this type of questions. But very few people are truly married to their job, and almost nobody, and I repeat this, nobody will admit that they're not open-minded, right? So most people will, will give you a positive idea about the way you constructed your icebreaker question. Next, once they say that they're open-minded, you can say you can follow. I just found a way to make money regularly as an independent business developer for an investments research service. All right. So once they say they're open-minded, you can follow this. I just found a way to make money regularly as an independent business developer for an investment research advice. So what do you notice about this part of the conversation? You're saying it opens the idea what you are saying, right? What is about that you're going to share to that person. And when they ask for more information, you can respond by saying, we can get into the details right now. We can't get into the details right now, but let me get your number so we can get together on a three-way call with my business partner to explain more. He is very successful business developer in my company. Okay, so as you can see the flow of the conversation, right? This is what we call icebreaker. So you pose the first question, are you married to your job or are you open-minded? So that's the question. And you're leading to the conversation as we just talk about. So this is where you're leading the person, your prospect, to a three-way call conversation with your business partner, meaning your upline. Okay? So the idea is you create the curiosity, but you don't want to present right there and then. So we just discussed last week that one of the a crucial element of inviting is not to present the business during the inviting stage, right? So you just need to create, to arouse the curiosity of that person, right? Make him interested with the construction of your invitation. And here, you're inviting him or that person to a three-way call with your business partner, with your upline. So now, in this, the way it is constructed, we're having this, we have this three person in this kind of conversation. Okay, in the Philippines, in our training, we call this ABC rule. All right, A means advisor. The advisor at the time is your upline. Okay, B is bridge. Bridge is you yourself. Because as the one who invited that person or inviting that person, you become the bridge from your upline and to your prospect. So that's A and B. Your upline advisor and you yourself as the bridge. And the C is your client or your prospect. Okay, so now in this last part, there's now a three element here that is involved: the advisor, the bridge, and the client. And what is important is this, that you will notice, it is also part of the icebreaker number 2 that I will be discussing with you, is the element of edification, right? You edify your advisor, your upline. So the idea is that your client will have a higher appreciation of your upline prior to introducing your upline to your client. That's the idea. So this is part of the ABC rule, edification. You edify your upline to your client, so that your client, you build up the reputation of your upline. So that's the idea of edification. You build up the reputation, the value of your upline, so that your client will listen to your upline. So this is really crucial. If you're able to master the element of edification, right? And this is one of the most powerful part of a effective presentation. edify your upline to your client so that your client will have a strong belief and respect to your upline, right? So in this context, the way we're discussing it right now, you may notice that you don't present the business right there and then during your inviting spiel. You create an interest, right? And you show that your client will be talking to somebody who's in authority, okay? So the way that you describe it here is he is very successful business developer in my company. So that person, your client, will look forward to meeting your upline even before the actual introduction of your upline or your advisor based on the ABC rule. All right? So that's how you do it. And we will share this slide to you for you to be able to master the way the conversation is constructed. Okay, let's proceed to icebreaker number 2. I just found out. All right, I just found out. Pause for a moment. Okay, then I just found out a way to make money regularly as an independent business developer for an investment research service. So that's your introduction, right? Then you may follow. If you'd ever like to know how, I would be glad to tell you. Meanwhile, pass the peace. All right. So what do you notice in this type of conversation? So as if you're ignoring or you're passing, uh, you're not giving the information yet, right? So you create an element of anticipation. You introduce to you the idea, but you don't want to discuss it yet to her. All right. So this is just irresistible. The command takes control of their subconscious mind, and they will demand you tell them now. Yeah, right. And even if they don't uh, reply positively, where you rejected, no, it's a win-win approach. And you could even try it and give it another time to present the question differently. But most people will say, how does that work? Really? That sounds interesting. Tell me more. They have just asked you for more information. All right. So what do you do next? So now you're able to arouse the interest, and she or he would like to know that information immediately. So what will you do? You may continue. I'm just getting started, so I wouldn't be able to explain it very well. I'm working with my upline, so put the name of your upline, and he's teaching me the skills I need to be able to do that too. He is very successful business developer in my company. Let's get together with him by phone, all right? And he can answer all your questions. So you don't proceed answering the questions of your prospect. You lead them to your upline through a three-way call again. Okay? Are you learning from this approach? So you don't do the presentation itself. You don't answer all the questions that your prospect might have during that time. You lead them to your upline. Again, if you notice, we employ the idea of edifying your upline by saying he is a very successful business developer in my company. So naturally, for someone who heard that statement would look forward to meeting somebody, a person, your business partner, who is very successful in the business, right? So you would like to meet that person. If that person is very successful in the business that you would like to engage in that business, of course you would like to meet that person, right? So that's how you construct the icebreaker number 2 question. All right, so let's proceed now with the next topic that we're going to discuss. All right. Okay, we'll be discussing now the most common conversation stoppers that you will encounter. There may be some conversation stopper that will not be included here, but remember, this is the most commonly used conversation stoppers by your prospect. So now you know exactly how to approach. You'll be using two types of icebreakers because icebreaker questions allows you to sort out prospects from your suspects. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, what if your prospect, when you initiated the call, all right, says, aren't you a pyramiding scheme? So how do you answer that? Okay, let's proceed. So you may ask a question. Instead of answering it outright, you will answer by a question. What exactly do you mean by pyramiding scheme? This is what we call in sales as boomerang technique, right? So you throw a question to someone asking the question. So because when you're asking a question, remember this is a tip, guys. When you're asking question, you have control over the conversation. And I believe asking question really is the most powerful way of, it's an art of conversation. So if you're able to construct questions, right, because you're entirely new the dynamics of your business, then conversing with your prospect would be easier. So instead of them asking question, you may want to ask question, probing question, for you to be able to extract information needed that you can fit your presentation to your prospect. So if somebody says, aren't you a pyramiding scheme? You may answer, what exactly do you mean by pyramiding scheme? So what is the intention of your answer or your reply? Because you would want to know exactly what he meant by saying a pyramiding scheme, because many people has different interpretation of a pyramiding scheme. All right? So you get it? You get it how you approach this question, and you may continue afterwards once you heard his reply to your question. Okay, that's number one. So what else? Okay, so after your introduction, after making your first salvo of your question, icebreaker question, he asks you, is this multi-level marketing? So while listening, you may answer it in your mind. So how do you answer this question or conversation? Because the idea, really, the way why we're discussing here, this is a type of common conversation stoppers. The idea is to make you stop your conversation with your prospect. So it is really a rejection, a scheme that a prospect may employ to make you stop, not to pursue with your conversation with him, right? So is this multi-level marketing? What will you answer? All right. Okay, this is how you answer. How are you familiar with multi-level marketing? Okay. So if negative, the answer is negative perception. I'm sorry that you have had a bad experience. Actually, multi-level marketing is a phenomenal way of doing business and today has a very high credibility. Our company has taken a step beyond. It's called partnership marketing. All right. So do you notice the way you answer that question? You answer again with a question. It's a boomerang technique again. No? How are you familiar with network marketing? all right, with multi-level marketing, let him again um, reply to you. So you would want to know what his perception or her perception about network marketing or multi-level marketing, right? Okay, next. What is the common conversation stoppers? Is this sales? All right, because network marketing is around for more than 60 years since its first um, systematic inception of the compensation plan. It was started around um, late 1940s. So practically, the person that you're going to talk to have encountered many people like us, right? So the question would be, is this sales? So how do you answer this? Okay. Are you interested in sales? All right. You notice again, you answer it with a question. Are you interested in sales? Because she or he asks you, is this sales? Then you will answer back, are you interested in sales? In sales. If no, good. Because I'm not looking for salespeople. I'm looking for people who want to go into the teaching, training, leadership, end of the business. How does how does that sound to you? So, and you notice how the conversation goes in this, the way you answer this question, right? So you may want to modify this in a way that you think that can um, that the person that you're talking will be interested into, right? So that's how you answer this question. Is this sales? All right. So let's proceed to another conversation stopper is this. I don't have time, right? So this is very common. I've encountered this many times, right? So how do we answer this? All right, let's proceed. I don't have time. You again, you answer with a question. Is more free time something you'd like? All right. So you use his answer to answer back. The way this reply is constructed is it's like in basketball. You throw the ball again to the person, right? So when he asks question, it's like throwing the ball to you. So when you throw it back, so the responsibility to answer is not with you anymore. It is with the prospect. All right. So is more free time something you'd like? Sure, but how could you do that? If I could show you a way to get the free time and have financial freedom as well, would you be interested in hearing more? All right. So do you get it? So you're turning something negative to into a positive tone, right? You're creating a pleasant conversation instead of a conversation that might lead to not so interesting conversation. Okay, let's proceed with another most common conversation stoppers that you may encounter. I don't have the money. Again, this is very common, right? So how do you intend to answer this conversation, this reply from your prospect? I don't have money. Okay. Again, you will notice the your reply is more money something you are looking for. All right. If answer is yes, then say, if I could show you a way to earn $100 to $200 per week part-time out of your home, would you be interested in hearing more? All right. For sure, you will be interested because you have the potential to earn $100 to $200 per week working from home. All right. You notice how the conversation was overturned because the way you're skilled to handle this question. All right. Again, another common conversation stoppers is this multi-level marketing. So how are you going to answer this? With in mind the previous questions that we have and the way you answered it? How are you familiar with network marketing or multi-level marketing? All right, so you ask again a question. You throw back the responsibility to answer to the client or to the prospect because you want to know what his thoughts about multi-level marketing. So if negative perception, I'm sorry that you've had a bad experience. Actually, multi-level is a phenomenal way of doing business, right? Okay, number 7. Is there an investment? This is again very common. So how do we answer this? Let's proceed. You can start business with no capital at the comforts of your home. Let me show you how. And it's true. You can start business even, not shelling out money to know it, right? We have a program to allow those people who has no money to start the business and accumulate income with our business model. And that's really powerful. So do not forget that, right? Lastly, I'm not interested. So how do we answer this? That's quite all right. Can you tell me just exactly what is that you are not interested in? So again, remember the question is you employ again what we call a boomerang technique. You answer back with a question. That's quite all right. Can you tell me just exactly what is that you are not interested in? You might have to repeat this several times until you get the real objection that is stopping from taking action. All right. So I hope you appreciate this type of answer because really a conversation is really the key to our business. And the more people that you converse with is the higher the probability of you um, growing your business, growing your community. So you may not want you don't want to be in a position that you're not talking to somebody, especially during this particular project that we have, that you're going to employ, that you're going to engage, the 90-day challenge. Talking is everything. Conversing is everything. Converse, initiate conversation, initiate talk to your prospect every day. You have to do this every day. And you know the beauty of this, if you do this continuously every day, then you will master the art of conversation. You become what we call objection specialist. Any objection that will be thrown to you, you can easily handle it with effectiveness. All right? So you continuously develop your skills. And that's really, really powerful, I'm telling you. Conversing with your prospect will not be hard anymore. It is like swimming downstream, effortless. And you do it with a smile on your face. And now, when you're able to master this, right, you will have a different outlook in our business. You will always anticipate objection and you're ready to answer those objection or conversation stoppers that will come from our prospects. And that's really powerful, I'm telling you guys. Okay, so that's all that I'm going to discuss at this point in time. So hopefully that you're able to learn from it. And don't worry, we will share with you the script that we have, all right, for you to be able to master it. You may want to somehow modify it to fit you, to suit your style. but always remember the important components of the ice-breaking question. So let's do some review questions now. So I need the help of Edward. Edward, please help me in these
I'm
review
here.
questions. All right. Okay, number one. What is the cardinal rule before presenting?
Okay, please, if you have an answer, just click the raise hand button. We'll unmute you to allow you to provide an answer. People, your hand is up. All right. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, the cardinal rule, number one is never do a presentation to people, particularly when you are prospecting. Don't do personal presentation at the start.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Do I go on? Do I go ahead?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please proceed.
The next thing is understand the prospect state of mind, and there are 5 aspect key areas you should watch out for. Number one.
All right. Okay. I will ask that question later.
Okay.
But thank you
Okay.
very much for your comment. Yeah, right.
All right. All right. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So, okay. Okay. The cardinal rule, aside from been answered, never do presentation to people unless they ask for it. This is very, very crucial. So don't do any presentation if the person doesn't ask for it. So this is where we are fundamentally different from other people in this industry. People would like to present even the person doesn't want you to present with them. So don't force the issue, all right? Find another time if that person is not ready to listen to you. So that's the number one cardinal rule. Okay, let's proceed with the next question. Who is a prospect? In this training, we elevate the meaning of prospect. So who is a prospect? Yeah, Praise Je. You may want to answer, please.
Up. If you have an answer, okay, fine. Please unmute yourself.
A prospect is a person who needs
Sorry, fine. I think your network is pretty poor. We might need to get someone else to respond. Naomi, please respond. Kindly unmute yourself and respond, Naomi.
A prospect is
You joined with 2 different devices, hence the interference. You could just move away from the other device.
a prospect is a person who needs an opportunity.
All right. So
And the
you may want
person
to, yeah, you
wants
may
it
want to add to
now
that.
or there and then.
All right, that's good. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, person who's in need of an opportunity now, not later. All right. So that's the meaning of prospect that we're discussing right now. You need to identify your prospect from the suspects, meaning the list that you have, for those people who would be in need of the opportunity now, not later. So that's clear. Number 3 questions. What do you need to understand about the prospect's state of mind? Right. So that's the one being about to answer, right? So now this is the question.
Okay. Huge dollar. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, what I need to understand about the prospect state of mind is whether the prospect has had an encounter, negative encounter earlier than the time I met him. I also need to find out maybe he's biased about our type of business, or he may have maybe the information he has earlier, whether it's correct or he doesn't have enough information, or he may also have had a previous bad experience with other marketers. Then I can as well find out if he's open-minded to business or he is not. So I'll remember that the important thing is I should be prepared, whatever his state of mind is.
Correct, precisely correct. Thank you very much for your answer. Right, so we need to know the prospect's state of mind prior to approaching him or her, and that's very, very important. But as said a while ago, the most important part is you are ready, you are prepared. So meaning any situation that may arise during your approach, you're ready. All right. Thank you very much
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. What does icebreaker questions do?
Okay. Do we have any hand? All right. Marilyn, your hand is up. Please unmute yourself and respond. Marilyn, please. Marilyn. Okay.
Icebreaker questions allow one to sort the prospects from the suspects.
Correct. Thank you very much for your answer. Yeah, so that's how important icebreaker questions, right? So always remember that. Every time you approach your prospect, make sure you're ready with your icebreaker questions, because that will sort out prospect from your suspects. Number 5 question. In icebreaker question, what is the 2 most important parts? There are 2 parts of the icebreaker question, the one that we discussed a while ago. What is the most 2 important parts of that?
Okay, Naomi and Prisja. All right, Naomi, please unmute yourself.
The first question is, I want to find out if the person, are you married to your job? Because this is very, very important. If the person is open to have a view of other things, or if he's married to his job.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, actually, it's a uncommon question that you can pose to your prospect, right? That's good. But what are the 2 parts of icebreaker question? Because the icebreaker question is constructed in a way that you will notice 2 parts in the icebreaker question. Okay, Presja, you may want to answer, please.
Yes, the second part of the question is, would you like to do a business together with your job? While you're asking this question, you're trying to find out if the person is open to other opportunities, or the person is just stick to his 5 to 9 job. And if the person is open to opportunity, you might then go further to this ABC rule, where you also involve your upline to answer his question by 3-way call, so that the person will get the information. If there is any hidden questions that the person needs to ask to clear his mind before joining your business.
Right, that's right. Okay. In addition to that, you will notice the 2 parts of the icebreaker question. Number 1, you're promoting an event or tool. Okay, so the way it is constructed, you're leading to an event, meaning you're inviting him to a presentation, right? Or a tool. when I say a tool, later on, so it's not yet available, we'll be developing videos. So instead of uh, leading to a presentation, you may want to give him a tool that he can watch, right, to get the interest of that person. So that's the number one part of the icebreaker question. The number two part of the icebreaker question is edifying your upline. So these two are very important content, part of the construction, the way you construct your icebreaker question. So make sure to edify your upline every time you in your icebreaker question, and make sure that you're leading to a presentation, meaning the conversation will lead to inviting that person to a presentation. You don't do the presentation right away. All right, so I think that's clear. With now, thank you very much, everybody, for listening and learning today. And we will proceed with the next trainer. And I will I'll give the floor again to Edward to introduce our next trainer for the day.
All right.